Hi guys, I have a very big financial decision to make and I am, not having the courage to click on the checkout button, the order button. So I'm here, taking my frustration out and venting in front of the camera. Life is at an haphazard right now with finals week. I have like 2 projects and 3 exams remaining. This board will tell you a story. But yeah, today this will be a very podcast style recording. Let's see how it goes. But today we're going to talk about shifting from your national curriculum to A levels and whether or not it's worth it. So if you're a Bangladeshi, then you probably should watch Siam Bhai's video, which is very in-depth and talks about the disadvantages and advantages of moving from one curriculum to another, whether it be IB, A levels, from your own national curriculum, whether or not you're in Pakistan, Nepal, India, US, Bangladesh, wherever you are. So I'm probably not US. Anyway, so I mean, for the purpose of this video, we'll assume that A levels and IBs, international baccalaureate and A levels, O levels are the superior curriculum. They have numerous advantages, and I genuinely think that some advantages are very, very good to have. So, for example, A levels actually genuinely teaches you to think critically as compared to, say, the national curriculum of Bangladesh. You'll probably have better access to English speaking resources, and you'll probably be better have English essay writing skills. I mean, overall, let's assume that in general those curriculums are 10 times better. No debate on that. That's what we'll assume for this video. But then the question arises whether or not it's really worth it for you to shift. And as with most of life, the answer is that it depends. So I have divided into 3 subcategories of why and when it depends. The first, it's very obvious, is the finance. So when you shift a curriculum to a more international curriculum, which may be IB or A levels, in the case of Bangladesh, you probably pay next to nothing to sit for SSC or HSC exam. They are grade 10 and grade 12 exam. You literally almost pay nothing. It's different when it comes to A levels and IBs. You have to pay a certain amount of fee. So assume that you'll probably have to spend just on exam fees every year $1,000 at least. So that's fairly expensive, and it doesn't end there. English medium schools where they teach A levels or IBs tend to be a lot more expensive, and the range depends as well. Some IB schools in Dhaka costs more than what it will cost me to study 50 years at $50. It's that expensive. So it depends. But even in the most, if we count the average person, the coaching centers tend to be a bit more expensive, the schools tend to be a bit more expensive, so the finance is something that you should look onto. Now let's assume you are financially more or less capable of spending this amount of money, and I mean, if all things considered, the other 2 issues that I talk about, if they didn't exist, then I probably would have said that the financial decision would probably be sound, that it's a nice investment in your future. Maybe you will have, I don't know, numerous advantages, you will learn a lot. So for your family, it may be a very sound financial decision to invest on A level or IB. That I probably would have said. However, it may not be so. There are a couple reasons to it. First, the shift is gruesome. It's tough. Now, I never gave Bangladeshi national curriculum examination, but I have a fair amount of idea what it contains. If I shifted from A levels, which I gave, to the national curriculum of Bangladesh, I am fairly sure I would have had a horribly hard time. And a lot of people do. A lot of people have to finish their HSC syllabus after they finish their A levels in like 3 to 4 months because they want to sit for public examinations in Bangladesh. It's tough, it's difficult, and the shift is always difficult. Now, some people do cope up very well. For some people, it's an icing on the cake. Some people actually give both examinations at once. But I mean, you probably could spend a lot of time studying. You probably could spend a lot of time understanding the type of questions that come up, adjusting it, adapting. But I mean, still, you probably would have to spend a lot of time on this. You could, in theory, spend time not on this, but on your extracurriculars, growing yourself, doing other stuff that will probably be 10 times more valuable to grow yourself for your admissions. So at the end of the day, I mean, the shift may not be too worthwhile at all. And thirdly, I forgot the third reason. Wait, let me check my scripts.
One eternity later.
Oh yeah, so the third reasoning is more of an extension of all the other reasonings. Let's yeah, it's more of an, oh my god, I feel like I'm debating. Anyway, so the third reasoning is it also depends on which stage of life you are in right now. So if you're in say grade 6, then it's like you have a lot of time for it's there, you have like tons of time for you to shift to A levels, and then I don't know, give the A level exam, IB exam, and you will probably have a lot of time to adapt. That's fine. But if you're say somewhere who is in grade 8, grade 11, grade 10, and thinking of shifting, all the reasons that I just talked about, it may not just not be worth it. I mean, it's probably best for you to stay in your national curriculum. It's fine for you to stay in your national curriculum. It's not a problem. I mean, you could shift, and that's fine. And that's probably one of the greater decision that you'll probably be making and really happy. But do note the problems that you may face once you shift. So I mean, one of the more confusions that people have is that if they study national curriculum and they are going to have a horrible shot at admissions and they're not going to get in anywhere, which is just not so true. Now, if we delve a lot into nuances, then it's true that the international curriculum has a slight edge over your national curriculums. But I'm not going into that nuance today. I am going to tell you that your chances of getting it with both curriculums are absolutely equal. I mean, sure, we get into that nuance, and like if we do consider that you have a slight edge in the international curriculum, then yeah, sure. But is that slight edge worth it? Is that slight edge worth your finances, or adapting, or the extra hassle that you will have, sacrificing all the extracurriculars that you probably could do? Probably not. Probably not the most sound decision you will be able to make. So overall, in general, there are a lot of people who loved shifting. They absolutely loved the idea of shifting and all, and something that I'll probably encourage as well if you think that's a sound decision that you made by yourself. However, do note that it's tough, it's problematic. The same exists for shifting from A levels or IB to HSC. It's tough. Shifting curriculums is tough in any scenario. So if you do end up taking that decision, take all of the things in consideration and then probably shift. So I mean, sure, A levels and IBs are probably the superior curriculum. They will probably shape you in ways that your national curriculum can't. But it's a trade-off worth it. That depends on individual cases, and that depends on you. Rant finished. I don't know if I'm going to buy my camera. It costs for $30, but it's also a good refurbished condition, actually tested by Canon and all. And also it's a good deal. It's Canon M50, and yeah, I'll be saving. It actually costs $700. I'll be buying in like $450. So I don't know. I'll wait a few days. But if I wait a few days, then I'll miss some days of using this camera.